Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys out there are having a great day. I know I am. Today's going to be a little cut off short, or rather, I think for the first few days I was going, it's actually long, which is weird, right? Because I've been my first few days of doing this and really getting back into the groove. I was only doing like 4 or 5 hours a day, and today I'm only going to be doing 6. But compared to my yesterday, doing 10 hours, today's a break. You know what I mean? I'm doing a little more than half. So that's great. And I'm helping some people out. I'm doing some volunteer work, which I love doing. And I know it sounds weird saying it like that, but it's true. It's like I'm 19. I'm doing some volunteer work. I really do love it for the people that I do it for. They're great. They're fantastic. And yeah, I really do love helping them out. They're awesome people. But today, what I did do so far is I did some cold outreach, which has been going great, honestly. Cold outreach, it's not going as great as I expected necessarily, but in terms of finding them and the literal statistics, but the fact that I'm doing it and the fact that some people are responding and I'm gaining my list is almost at 200, almost 200 people. That's pretty crazy. At least for me, that's nuts. So that's awesome. Number 2 is I am just finished doing beats and making music for a specific client, right? A specific client and doing things like that, which is also really awesome. And watching Succession as I usually do. There's this interesting thing, if you don't watch the show Succession, I feel like, because I was more fortunate of a kid, I won't lie. I always felt like I was those kids in Succession. That's how everybody looked at me. Not everybody, but a certain amount of people would look at me as, the kids in Succession. And my dad, which was a really smart thing to do, my dad always made it seem like it was the case. Like you're someone who's not just like privileged, because I think that word gets a little misused and overused. It's not necessarily privileged. You're given this opportunity. So if you think that other people are stupid, as I used to tell him all the time, right? I say when I was younger, it was a couple years ago. I used to be like, this person's just so dumb how these people think. And he said, well, they didn't have the opportunity you did. And I was like, well, yeah. Like I would probably be dumber if I were in their position because of my personality trait, because of how much of an obsessive personality I have. And oh God, like I can't even express to you guys. It's one of those things that I value for the rest of my life, because these kids think they deserve it. They deserve their dad's, wealth, and I don't really love the word deserve. That's why it's hard for me to even get anxious, because I don't feel like I've deserved it. Anyway, time gets ahead of me and things get ahead of me, and I lose track of what I believe, for laziness' sake and for urge and impulse's sake, because it's hard to be someone who stays on track. It really is. I mean, in the Bible they talk about it all the time, but it's true. It's hard to be someone who stays on track completely and totally. And now, going through the rest of my day, right, as a metaphor almost, as a stay on track, do what you have to do. Right? Even though I'm going to go volunteer, do what I'm doing, and it's pretty much a lot of it is talking and, fun stuff, dopamine stuff. I'm making sure to wake up early, get my work done. Always separate time. I say always. It wasn't like this. It was actually pretty difficult for me to wake up early because I'm a really, really big night bird. I love nighttime. I love it when it's 2, 3 a.m. You're BSing, chilling, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, it's already like 4 a.m. Whoa, who cares? You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, whatever. That to me is when I get at my most lazy, is when going to bed. I said this before. I don't like waking up early. I don't like, but I can deal with it. It's the going to bed early that I can't. It sucks. Oh, that sucks. Till this day, like yesterday, I was having a hard time going to sleep. I say hard time. It wasn't as bad as it used to be. Only like half hour maybe of like just tossing, turning, just being like, okay, why can't I just get up right now and go hang out? It's like, no, you have to just go to bed, wake up early, let's do this, calm down, it's like breathe, and then just ease into it. That's how I've been doing it. But, okay, so I'm going to go do some more cold outreach, make some more beats, and I'll get back to you guys after that. See you there. All right, so I just did some cold outreach, and I didn't get to making beats. I actually had to help my dad out just now. I'm helping a lot of people out today, and I like it. The thing that I've noticed is when I was younger, I used to hate, not hate, but I used to really have very low tolerance for other people's problems, because the ideology was, I don't ask you to help me with my problems, don't ask vice versa. Obviously a very douchebag thing to do, and a very annoying person that would be. And it's true. To a certain extent, I really was that guy that hated being asked to do something that I didn't want to do. Now, I think because of work, ironically, because you would think work would make me addicted to work and obsessed with work, and like the father that doesn't see their kids, but it's done the opposite for me. It's made me more tolerant to everything. My dad just came in the house. He was like, "Hey, listen, man, can you do X, Y, and Z for me?" And I was like, "A break from work?" I know I sound like a douchebag when I say that, but it's true. Like, yeah, it's a break from work, and yeah, I'll help him out. Like, I see perspective. My perspective is far less foggy, more clear. You know, I hate thinking of life in general from a scope as something that's selfish, something that revolves around me. The world doesn't revolve around you. The sun doesn't revolve. Like, you hear this all the time. It's like, it's not all about you. And I think children, that's actually something that's rooted in them, is that it's all about them. At least it's what they think, that it's all about them. And to a certain extent, it kind of is all about them. In their world, they poop their pants. You know what I mean? Like, they have someone clean out their pants. Everyone's doing everything for them. And then you reach an adult age and you got to do it for yourself, pal. And all the problems that come with doing it for yourself, the metaphorical wiping your own ass, all those things you have to do for yourself, that it's just living, it's surviving. And baseline, that can be difficult. I'm not going to say it's not. Baseline, that can be difficult. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing like 2% of that now. I'm not quite this adult yet. I'm seeing only like a very small slither. And even I see the difficulties in it, and I can understand and maybe even agree to a certain extent that it's difficult just being a person. But you deal. The whole like life's tough. It's like, well, it's more complicated than that. Life's not just tough. Who said that? I think it was a Republican. I think it was Candace Owens, like one of those people, who said that. The life's tough, get a helmet. And it's like, well, it's more complicated than that. Yeah, it is. But also, if the problem is more complicated, then maybe just don't label it as a problem and keep going, because life's tough. And focus on the things that matter to you. Maybe. I don't know. But maybe that would be more helpful. Up to you guys whether it would be. But for me, it has been. And it has been so out of sight, out of mind with a lot of things, which usually isn't good. But a lot of the bad habits are out of sight, out of mind. Whereas a lot of the good habits would be out of sight, out of mind. So I would have producing, and I would ignore the producing because whatever, and watch a movie instead. And now I'm sitting down and doing this with you guys. And the only excuse I get is if I got to help out. I got to go do something with my brother. You know what I mean? Not just to hang out. I really don't. I'm honestly speaking, I don't really hang out. Or if anything, I hang out every day. But But at the end of my day, where it's like it's almost meditative, I don't like to put up my phone and just hang it, you know? And so when it comes to that, to this excuse I used to make, like if this is an average day and my friend would have called me and be like, hey man, can you help me out, whatever, I would have legitimately spent my whole day hanging out and waiting for him to show up and then went off on my day. My day wouldn't have started until then. Now I'm seeing from a different perspective the in and outs of all of this. It doesn't mean I'm immensely smarter now. It just means that my habits are better. That's it. It just means that when I wake up subconsciously, I just get out of bed and do it with my eyes closed. Like, I just get dressed, and really today wasn't painful. Like getting out of bed, and yesterday wasn't that painful. A lot of these days have not been that painful. Just get out of bed. And that's the hardest part, at least in my opinion. If you want to start running, the hardest part is putting on the shoes, not doing the running. The running is harder than putting on shoes, I'm aware. But what I mean by that is emotionally, mentally. Once you put on the shoes, you go ready to go. Once you start running, you're in it. The shoes are a symbol. My opinion, I don't have a lot of fact to base this off of. But in my experience, the shoes have been a symbol. Once I put them on, next habit, and I continue my habits, like running, you know what I mean? I get out of the house, go down the stairs, do what I got to do, go on the sidewalk, run. Okay, cool. When I used to do shadow boxing every day to lose the weight that I did, that was a lot of the things that subconsciously I wasn't even realizing I was doing. I was creating the habit of putting on the boxing shoes, tying them up, obviously, playing that song, and I'm already in a position to win because I already have all this stuff on. I'm already have all of it in my favor. I have leverage automatically to start my day. So that's the end of my rant. I'm gonna go edit some videos, and I'll be back to you guys honestly shortly. And see you there. Peace. All right, so I just finished everything I have to do for the rest of the day, and obviously I'm grateful, and I'm glad that I got it done, and I'm happy for myself, and I'm happy for you guys. If you guys got what you needed to get done today, I hope you guys did. And yeah, these days are getting shorter. I know, I'm going to help volunteer and all that, and I know I'm to a certain extent, it's coming from a bit of laziness. I understand that, but even just being with you guys and doing this, I mean, this is impressive for me. Just like a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, oh, nice, I got a good day in. So, perspective, right? Perspective. I wanted to talk about being the type of person who does what they think they should do. We always talk about this. I love this topic, but I want to talk about it a bit differently today. I want to talk about it as someone you look up to, a role model maybe you had, a role model maybe I had. Did they do what they think they should do? What do you think are problems that occurred with them? You could write it down. I know that some of my role models, some problems that occurred, even like a Michael Jordan, right? Problems that occurred with him were he had a foot injury, right? I mean, these things that they had to overcome, and compare them to your problems. And you'll see that maybe it hasn't been that bad. Maybe it has. But at least you get an outline of where you're at. And that outline, I feel like I've been having this outline lately of everything that I have and all these problems that occur and labeling things as problems in the first place. It's like labeling mistakes. It's real tricky. It's slippery ice, it's a slippery slope, labeling things as problems and mistakes. It almost always leads back to victimization. And victimhood is a killer of hard work. I think victimhood is a killer of responsibility. It kills responsibility. It takes responsibility and throws it in the trash, you know? It makes responsibility seem non-existent. Like you shouldn't have it. That's a tricky belief. We all know this. We all know how much of a tricky belief. Not blaming things on yourself. We all know people who don't blame anything on themselves and it's always your fault. So why do you do that with yourself? Why do you always say, well, it's just somebody else's fault? Maybe it's your fault. And that pain that comes with that sting, it's a sting that comes with that. Imagine Sting walks in. Every time you do it, Sting comes in. And a sting that comes with. But it's true, though. You had this sting in your heart. Where I have it. I get it. I go, oh, God. And it's unbelievable. I get very disappointed in myself for even, like, feeling it in the first place. I'm like, okay, breathe it in. It is your fault. You're this person. And then what comes with that is shame. And shame, I mean, oh, God. Shame is not something that's to be messed around with, you know? Shame is, it's the worst of it. It's the pain you feel when you hate yourself. Like, God, imagine how bad that is, shame. I've had shame, and I haven't done anything that bad, you know? I haven't had that much to be shameful for. Thank God, you know? But nowadays, I realize that it doesn't really hurt that bad anymore to think of myself as someone that messed up. Even if I messed up worse than I did before. Because it doesn't matter, those mistakes, I'm just labeling as mistakes. In 3 months, there might be the thing that saved me. It can have the opportunity to do that. So let's do that. You know what I mean? 3 months' time and 3 years' time, whatever the time frame is. Maybe that one mistake, that one opportunity that you see every day but you don't really take, maybe that could be life-changing. Maybe. Let's see. On that note, I'm going to end the YouTube video here and see you guys next time. Peace.